I want to make a quick video on learning the fundamentals and antifragility. So I feel like in today's world, there's so much information out there, especially on social media, that it's kind of hard to learn everything. Of the things you can learn, you are not even going to probably get to 1%, and that's being generous. Especially with social media, let's not even say learn. For example, of the amount of content that you can go through, you won't even get to 0.0001% because years worth of content is being produced daily. And for people like me who are, well, I say, trying to learn, I feel like that still applies. I used to think I was very productive by watching so many videos on learning, like let's say on business, for example. I'd watch Alex Homozy, Grant Cardone, all these guys, and I watch all their videos, thinking constantly watching their videos will make me better. And of course, it will make you better to a degree. You are better off doing that than maybe doing something that is not. If you're trying to learn business, you're better off watching some videos than not watching some videos. But what I'm trying to say is, in today's world where there's so much content out there, I feel like it's very important now more than ever to learn the fundamentals. Like, to narrow it down, for example, the fundamentals, subject wise, for me, I'm trying to relearn some things to get a good base, so I won't really lose my way in the world. You learn the fundamentals of math, physics, chemistry, biology, learn the fundamentals of philosophy, history. If you want to go into more niche topics that you find interesting, you could learn the fundamentals of power dynamics, human nature, etc. How I'm doing this now, I'm using ChatGPT to kind of learn stuff. I find ChatGPT plus my natural curiosity to be a very good teacher. So if you want, I don't think it's that complicated. You can write a quick prompt to ChatGPT, teach me the fundamentals of this topic, and I feel like that will give you a very good base, going into the world. Because even in schools, there's so much fluff out there. Well, especially on social media, which is my point today. Is if you're trying to learn actively on social media, learn from the people that are teaching. Of course, learn from perspectives of others, but not as a baseline. Your baseline should be the fundamentals. That's why the people I learn from the most are the ones that really push the fundamentals out there. I've talked about Naval a lot. He doesn't really say anything crazy. I resonate with him because he talks about the fundamentals a lot. Like, a line from wealth creation is, "You're never going to get rich by trading out your time for money." That is not really a big idea of a point, but really understanding that concept and really resonating with that concept and listening to that concept alone could get you far ahead than learning some trading course. So that's on the learning fundamentals side of things. On antifragility is basically a concept that became popular by a guy I mentioned in my last video, I think, Nicholas Nassim Taleb. And some of the I'm going to define some concepts. One of the concepts was fragility, or being fragile, which breaks under pressure, being robust or being solid, which doesn't get affected under pressure, and there's being anti-fragile, which gets stronger under pressure. So I feel like building the fundamentals or learning the fundamentals kind of makes you anti-fragile. When the world is turning into chaos, or when there's so much information out there, you kind of remain solid. You could say robust or anti-fragile in this situation. Yeah, I didn't want to go into too much detail, but yeah, I just wanted to share that point. It's very important to learn the fundamentals now more than ever. There's so much content out there, so many teachers. You can easily spot the fake gurus from the real ones, the fake propaganda from the real ones. History wise, you can learn some good lessons from history that sometimes that are being repeated in today's world. You can learn from that. By all means, keep on learning from let's say you're learning from some creators in whatever field you're trying to learn. Of course, keep learning from other people's mistakes, or keep listening to other people. But I feel like you should build your baseline first with all these subjects, math, physics, chemistry, microeconomics, uh, philosophy, power dynamics, etc. Also, depending on what you want to learn, then you can dabble in other people's perspectives. Yeah, that's all for today's video.